I've forgotten what day this is. It doesn't matter though, because we are very close to Tail of the Dragon. Every foot ahead of me, I've never seen before. But right now, we're on Cherahala Highway, getting there, so what you're seeing now is twisty, but not anywhere close. I have expectations, and I'm expecting them to be fully shattered.
We're in traffic already. It's not even 10 a.m. Disappointed. Not what I signed up for. Okay, but I just, breathe and relax. We're gonna get there, I promise. This is a random Thursday, and we have, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 or 40 cars that are actually trying to be with us today as part of Everyday Driver being here in the Tail of the Dragon area, which I'm very excited about. People that have written to us for years that we've never met have shown up.
We're in some great cars. We're in the cars that are pretty much the ones designed for these roads. Thanks to this owner, Jeremy, for letting us drive his 2011 NC2 Miata. Miatas have always been good, but Jeremy bought this because the first two generations didn't feel as modern as this one. Plus, this still has hydraulic steering, and it's the largest interior. The other car that we have with us, of course, is the new BRZ TS.
Because these roads are tight, we wanted to pick small cars that are good at momentum, because that's what you really want on a really tight back road. Plus, these two cars represent kind of the bookends of the discussion of this show. When we first started the show in 07, the NC Miata was the current Mazda Miata. And of course now the current version of this 86, it didn't even exist when we started the show, is this BRZ TS, and they both represent the rare manufacturers that are making a small, lightweight, driver-focused car.
We love road trip films. We've done trips all over, finding some of the best roads and places around the US.
But we've never done one like this. 2 weeks, 14 states, and different cars each day. Exploring new roads, comparing great cars. It's part film series, it's part fan meetup, and it's all a celebration of what we do, where we're going, and all the reasons we love to drive.
Yes, we're driving an 86 again, but the reason we're driving this one is because it's the Subaru TS, which is the version of the Subaru BRZ that has the extra performance parts on it. It comes with the improved dampers, it comes with the better Brembo brakes. The Toyota Performance version actually does a similar version of this. Some people, including this owner, prefer the dampers on the Subaru, but the main reason he bought the Subaru over the GR86 is because people kind of know about the Toyota GR86, but people are forgetting about the Subaru BRZ, and he was able to get it for $4,000 off the MSRP, which is tempting, I have to say, very, very tempting. Plus, the way the dampers have always been on the BRZ version, it's a little bit softer, and so if you have a commute or if you have bad roads, he lives near some bad roads in Vermont, it is the version that makes more sense.
This is quickly becoming the sweet spot for Miata ownership. It still has modernity, it still looks modern, the surfaces are still great. It's still a very small car, but I do feel more space in this car. Jeremy has PowerStop rotors and pads and PowerClear wipers installed. Thanks to PowerStop for providing those. Man, I see why this is becoming the most highly sought after Miatas, especially with the hardtop.
The owner of this car has come on a few of our adventures to Utah, and he's actually kind of discovered cars as a result of our podcast, which is really awesome. He used to think of cars as something that other people enjoyed. It wasn't really for him. But then he had a massive commute and was looking for podcasts, and he started listening to our podcast back and forth on a 3-hour commute in Seattle. And it just kind of infected him with the car disease. And all of a sudden, he just, on impulse, bought a Fiat 500 Abarth. And for the first time in his life, he had a car that he loved. He came on one of our meetups, rented a 987 Cayman and loved it. So guess what he did? He went home and he bought himself a 987 Cayman, because of course you do. But then a move to Vermont and less than great roads made him a little bit concerned about maintaining that Cayman. He bought a Camaro, except he realized over time he's a small car guy. So he went shopping all over, wasn't even considering the 86 chassis, but because we talked about it, he thought, I'll give it a shot. And he found himself saying out loud, what a joy, while driving one of these cars down a back road. He gets this BRZ TS fully stock and loves it. It's his favorite car he's ever had, and he loves how not only is it fun to drive right now, but he can tell that it is helping him become a better driver. This is not me endorsing the car. This is him endorsing the car. But I've been telling you that the 86 is great, and guess what? It's still great.
So the story of why Jeremy bought this car is because he decided he had an epiphany, and he decided that he needed a convertible in his life. He also bought it because of these roads. He lives nearby, and he wanted something that could take advantage of these roads all the time. He can come here and just go play. And that's why everybody comes here, is to just bring the car that you've got and play. And you know, that hydraulic steering feel? So natural. Such consistency throughout a turn. Only 167 horsepower, 140 pound-feet of torque. Yeah, there's things you can do, of course, to get more power, but it just seems like the really fast enthusiasts own Miatas. And you know what? This road is as curvy and twisty as many of the best ones that we have in the West. And I know it's not even close to the tail. Okay, a straightaway. A passing zone. Can I do it? I'm gonna do it. That's right. And you sped up. Jerk. Okay, now we're moving. Haha.
If you've completely discounted these two cars as not enough power, it can't possibly be fun. What's driving that? What is the thing in you that needs it to have bragging rights? Because who cares what anybody else thinks? Are you having fun? And I bet you in this car on these tight roads, you are having fun. We've known multiple people, including this owner, that have owned more powerful cars than this. And once they went down to this less powerful vehicle, they liked it more. Now, I admit that has something to do with what are the roads you're driving. If the roads you're driving are big, long, straight highways where power is what everybody cares about, that's a slightly different world. But if you're coming to places like this, ever, then power is irrelevant and dynamics are everything. And these little cars do that like crazy. Yes, of course, it could be more powerful. Yes, of course, it could be nicer in this interior, but it doesn't need to be. That's the key thing. In the first generation, it needed to be more powerful. In this generation, it doesn't. Are there people that are faster? Absolutely. Are they having more fun? I don't think so. I doubt it.
I'm trying to think. If I were to get a Miata, I think it would be an NC. It's just so good. It's just so satisfying. The classics will never die. That's what it is. It's classic. It's a classic feel. It's a standard. Look how much space I have. Miatas are the ultimate car to dump your money into. They're the ultimate car that makes you want to upgrade everything. How can you not be happy driving a Miata through these roads? How can it not just satisfy you? It does. This is spectacular, and it just goes on and on. So fill your tank, grab a Miata, and enjoy.
NC Miata, the third gen, the Miata that we love, the Miata that I fit in. With the hardtop on right now, my hair is barely touching. I can't say that in any other Miata that was ever made. So you can argue that I'm just too big, that's fine, but the reality is, as much as I like the Miata, I don't fit, except this gen I do, and this one is just about as good as an NC can get. We were champions of the third gen. Long ago, we did a big comparison of all the generations of the Miata. We actually liked the NC a lot, and at that point, it wasn't a version that people really liked. It's kind of come into its own in the years since.
Do we call this car the Miata's nemesis? Is it companion? Is it nemesis? The specs, remember, embedded in your head, 228 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. That's still this engine. Power was not added. What Subaru, Toyota, the conglomerate, the overlords have done to this car is to put the money where it matters, and that is suspension. A very tuned suspension. This is kind of what the car needed. Because You don't need to go crazy with performance modifications when you're starting with a chassis as light as this. It's still 400 pounds heavier than the Miata, but still, this one wants to dance. I do like this car so much. It's foot to the floor kind of driving in both of these cars. You don't get cars that can do that very often. Not all the time, but just you can get full power out of it and get to the floor.
And this 2011 has been revised by the owner, Jeremy. He was driving down Tail of the Dragon one day in his Mazda 6 sedan and thought, I need something lightweight and convertible. Here we go. But it isn't just a stock NC, because he has power stop brakes on it all the way around. That's good. Actually just got some power clear wipers on this car, so we're thrilled to see that as well. To address the standard body roll that all Miatas have from the factory, he's got Öhlins dampers on here and Eibach sway bars. As a result, this car just feels solid. The immediacy of all the movements has been drastically improved. It's really impressive how this car just moves as one cohesive unit. There is a new header and exhaust on here. He wanted to get a little bit of loudness without getting drone. He has a resonator on it to kind of fight the drone. So as a result, it has a tiny bit more power than it does stock, but this is still a car with under 200 horsepower and well under 200 pound-feet of torque because it's light. There's still body roll in this NC. It hasn't been killed completely. It has been improved. Frankly, this car still feels a little softer than the BRZ, which is a bit of a surprise, but the 86 chassis has always been a little bit flatter in corners than the Miata has.
I come to this car because it's 2,900 pounds, and I think, gosh, just a touch more up to 240, 250 would be great. And sometimes I think that, and other times I don't. You think you want more power. You think you do on the short sections that connect the corners here. But really, you don't. I do like the rotation of this car so much. This one has that progressive steering feel that the Miata does. This one is just the modern, slightly larger Miata. It's so telling that Elon has had, in my opinion, one of the better driver's cars in a 987 Cayman and came back to this. He chose this, and he's not wrong. He wrote to us and said that if you gave him $50,000 to spend, he would just go buy another one of these, and that is the best endorsement of all.
The owner of the BRZ said it. It's a joyous car. It just makes you smile. There's very little to worry about. Both these cars have that flavor, and that's why I'm so glad to put them together back here. Because there's no pressure with these cars. There's nothing to show off with. It's just a cheery car. This is like an excitable puppy. I'm almost expecting it to piss itself because it's just so happy to be out here, to be worked with, to be part of the fun. It's just an ecstatic little car. Just whine the little engine out, chuck it in. It's gonna make a puddle on the floor in a minute. Hopefully not of any vital fluids, but you know what I mean. All this dappled light, so cool. There's definitely enough road here that you can make a day of it. You should make a day of it.
Great asphalt, great corners. If there were scenery, I'd tell you how great it is. Okay, there's a little bit out there. Get a glimpse. We're on Joyce Kilmer Road right now, headed up to Tail of the Dragon. Again, never been on this section. This is brand new for me.
We've driven a lot of cool cars on this trip, including the ones that we own. But I gotta tell you, of the ones that we've driven, the ones that I want are these two. They're just, I wish I could get everybody to understand how great these cars are and how this is what you need for enjoyment. I know there's so many of you that live near Tail of the Dragon or have done it a few times and consider it a pilgrimage, which is why we're here. But so many of you look at it as the greatest road in the nation, maybe the world, and I've always wondered, is that because it really is that good, or is that because it's the greatest in this area and you haven't driven other places? I'm looking forward to having that experience for myself today because this area has promise already. I'm not even there yet, and it's been a fantastic morning of driving. Well, this is cool. This is our whole group coming back down. This is the whole Everyday Driver group coming back down the other way. I love it. That's really fun. All right, here we go.
We're at Deals Gap right down here. It's all kinds of cars and all kinds of rides. See right down here? This is the tree of shame. If you wreck on the tail, you have to hang your bike or the part that got wrecked on the tree, and it's completely full.
This is mile 1. I'm in North Carolina. Not even a mile up there, it becomes Tennessee where the road gets nice, and it goes for the famous 11 plus miles. Yes, in case you haven't seen it on everything they have here, 318 turns and 11 miles. They make sure they drill it into your head so you know for sure. This is craziness. The stickers, the swag, the kitschy stuff everywhere, including the dragon. Okay, tail of the dragon. I just met somebody that thought they saw my car and watches the show. That was really cool. Tyler, if you're watching, thanks for saying hey. You are literally going to ride with me and my son while we do my first ever trip up tail of the dragon.
You know what? I'm already liking it for the flow. My first impressions are the undulations, the camber changing in the road.
So plenty of times, like right here is an example, this corner has camber that helps us, but halfway through some of these corners, the camber stops helping you and rolls away from the corner itself. There's one of the mini photographers. I have to look him up later and see our photographs.
There's at least 4 businesses out here taking photos of cars. And I'm gonna buy a photo, I'm gonna find my photo. I already spent some money, some unnecessary money on a hat, but I had to get it. Hat and a keychain, got that, so I feel official, but not quite yet. Oh man. Wow, look at this camber. Look at this road. This is the craziest, tightest road I've been on.
This is needlessly curvy. Essentially the middle of second gear for most of this road. Look at that camber change, rolling both ways, catching us both times. That was great right there. This is special. It's the camber change that's surprising me the most, more than the road itself or even the corners. It's the fact that the camber goes back and forth to kind of catch you in what you're doing.
You know what I like are the sight lines. I mean, obviously there's a lot of tight, blind corners, but oh wow, look at this.
Well, Paul's caught up to me. No one's surprised. We're having a glorious time, clearly.
And passing apparently is non-existent. I'm really hoping this guy's gonna be cool. You know what? Run what you brung. But if you're slow, get out of the way, right?
I think his brake lights are on. Not sure, but I think he hit his brakes. We have to like ask him because I'm not sure. That was very nice. This is what turnouts are for. Let that be a lesson unto you that have cars behind you. That's what a turnout is for. That's exactly what it looks like, a properly executed turnout.
This is really tight. This is really tight. Very impressive. Very impressive. Tennessee, well done. You know those times when you decide that you've bought the right car? This is one of those times. I'll bet that Lotus is doing fantastic right now.
I'm not good at the math, but 318 turns in 11 miles is a lot. I like when it opens up a little bit to our left, down to the valley. That's nice. Back in the trees. Super cool.
I am shocked how good this road is. I am amazed, and the asphalt is perfect the whole way. The problem is, even on a weekday, you get random traffic. That's fine, you still get good sections.
Rarely getting over 60 miles an hour on this road anywhere. So it is a very small, tight, low-speed road, but you're working so hard. It has that element of autocross almost, where you're actually working the car quite a bit, even though your total speeds aren't very high. Catching up to the pack. Yep, there you go. There's the end. Look at that. That is super cool. Wow.
I guess that's it, right? Is this a turnaround? Yep.
That's a sign you don't see every day. That 11 miles indicates tail of the dragon. At either end, they have that motorcycle sign right there because this is the northern end. This is the end, as you can see, with no infrastructure. It just stops. But this is the parking lot where everybody turns around after doing the 11 miles. Do you remember how many turns? All right, headed back now. Southbound on Tail of the Dragon.
Yeah, got a line going up now. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? You got to pull off, but there's bikers ahead of that guy that won't pull off, so, okay, they're all turning off. Great. This is cool. I mean, I could totally see how this, you could treat it like a track.
But it's the camber change that makes this intriguing. I compare it to a road like Yerba Buena in California, which is very, very tight and spectacular, but is essentially a flat road. There's almost no camber on that road. This looks and feels engineered. They've rolled it with the terrain, they've rolled it with the corner in question.
This is just amazing. I just want to run this over and over and over. It's easy to be undisciplined through here, but if you leave your lane, you might scrape a spoiler or something worse. Yeah, do not have an off there. Holy crap. In the strangest way, it's relaxing. This is good. This feels good. See, you can't think about anything else. Oh look, the valley.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Gorgeous. Yeah, I love how it just pops out of the trees for a little bit.
Yeah.
A couple corners and ducks back into them again.
Yep, agreed. Very cool.
Okay, I'm feeling indoctrinated. Next question is, how much of it have I memorized yet? 0. This looks tight.
You're never resting. Constant change.
They're resting.
Pretty great, everybody. Pretty great. There's Kareem. Yep, Chris. That's our group.
And we got an errant Mustang, a stray Mustang. Speaking of which, the Heritage Mustang Rally just went through here. One of the cars neighs. That's right. Through a speaker, out loud, so everyone can hear it.
Person with the horse noises should be shot. Put it down like a horse.
For all the crappy roads that we've had, for all the freeway driving, this is cathartic. Guy, I feel so vindicated. When you spend more time looking through the side glass, you know the road is twisty.
Camber, my friend.
Oh, that is so cool. Never said this before, but that like feels like mountain biking.
Yeah, I get that.
We're in a
totally.
car.
Yep, totally get that.
Very cool. All right, we're almost at the end. See, we're back in North Carolina.
Yeah, as soon as you cross over, the road is not good on this side. Quality is questionable. I'm so glad that Tennessee has paved this road well because I would not want to do it all on this questionable road surface. But honestly, when it's all said and done, I think it kind of lives up to the hype. I mean, this road is fantastic. I would not want to do it in a semi and get stuck. I would not want to do it too fast and overcook myself, but it is an incredible road with an unbelievable amount of camber. The camber has shocked me more than anything. I wish you were here, and I want to be back.
You know, just because we've done it as part of a larger trip doesn't mean we're never coming back. I could definitely see us coming back through here. It's part of a different trip, something different, but always including tail. I really didn't think I'd like it so much, but you know what? I really do like it here. Everybody is really nice. I'm about to bust into a southern accent because I have been honeyed and darlined more times than I can count. It's just that southern hospitality that I'm feeling, and it's great.
But it really does have a culture around it, a community that feels kind of like what you see at the Ring and a few other places on Earth where driving is what matters. And I'm always impressed to see anywhere that actually leans into the idea that drivers matter, and that's why we're all here, and it was wonderful to see. We still have one more day here. What we haven't done yet is Blue Ridge Parkway. We got to get that done. That's on the docket for tomorrow. Also, Newfound Gap Road, that's also on the list. All the lists you guys have sent us. We're trying to hit all the great roads while we're out here.
Thanks again to Elon, to Jeremy for letting us drive their cars. They were absolutely wonderful. Pigeon Forge, here we come for dinner. Oh, I also hear there's Hatfields and McCoy's restaurant, like dinner theater. I don't know. There's a lot of learning to be had.